Sushmita Sen, Lara Datta, Aishwarya Rai, Priyanka Chopra have all made India very, very proud by taking part in pageants like Miss Universe and Miss World. And, it's a really proud moment for India when people represent us on the global platform. However, still modeling has long been denoted with like a negative connotation, and times are changing. So today our guest is going to tell us all about how times are changing. So please welcome Vartika Singh. Hi Vartika.
Hi, thank you,
Welcome to the
Priyanka, for having me
podcast.
here.
Okay, so just a little bit about Vartika. Vartika has represented India in the Miss Universe 2019 pageant, and she has won many other titles. She is a social worker, an entrepreneur, and she recently featured in a music video with Guru Randhawa. So, we learn very exciting things about Vartika today and about modeling in India. This episode is all about empowering individuals and breaking stereotypes. So, let's dive right in. Okay, Vartika, I mean, I usually ask everyone what they
Yeah,
are wearing to the show, but you
yeah,
are in your airport look today.
yeah, of course. I directly came from the airport, so now this is
Yeah, I
how
mean,
I
I
prefer
love the
to
look.
travel because it's easier to. Black is one uniform color that goes with everything
Absolutely.
and keeps you comfortable. So here I am.
Love the airport look.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to know how has fashion really empowered you
Mhm.
or given you a platform to like showcase yourself or given you a purpose in some way?
Fashion is something that's beyond aesthetics. It's not just about looking great, people wearing great clothes, and talking about fashion. And coming from a smaller town like Lucknow and having very few opportunities to encash on, and then moving to Bombay to participate in a beauty pageant, Miss India, and sitting here and talking to you about my journey, it's been great because fashion has enabled me to discover who I am, to discover the kind of person I want to be, the goals that I have set for myself. It has done everything to me. It has given me a whole new life, and I'll always be grateful to fashion for it.
Lovely, great answer. You said you're from a small town,
Yeah.
Lucknow. So, when you told your parents that I want to do this, what was their reaction?
Actually, they did not even know that I'm participating in a beauty pageant.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a very traditional cultural background, and following a glamorous path as your career option was never the option that I was given. In fact, I remember when I told my dad that I want to study commerce and not science, and he was really taken aback. He's like, "Why would you study commerce
Yeah.
and not science? Because we are all like from science background, and why would you not do that?" Hence, I had to study, and actually, I'm grateful for it because then I had experiences in public health sector only because of it. So that was great. But coming back to my journey, I remember my mom when I got through first round of auditions from Lucknow. My mom telling me that why people calling me and congratulating me, and I was like, there was this one pageant happening, and then I've suddenly just randomly showed up there, and they've called me to Bombay. And it got published in the newspaper, so hence people are calling you. But don't take it seriously, I'm not going anywhere. And
Right.
yeah, from there to just convincing her that can I please go to Bombay for just one day because I'm very sure they won't take me, but I just want to experience it. And my mom is like, if you're going, go on your own responsibility. I'm not going to convince your dad. And I remember that one day trip to Bombay for one audition has now become 8 years.
Lovely. You have the typical movie story.
Oh, it has been a
Yeah.
beautiful story, trust me. When they say that you're from a small town, there are less opportunities, more hurdles in your way, but at the same time, those things also drive you to do better and they kind of force you to, they kind of light that fire within you and you push yourself even more when you are in a very competitive environment. And I
Yeah,
think that's what that
absolutely.
has worked for me.
Lovely. So, you wanted to get into modeling since you were a child. Like, was there any
Actually,
role model?
no.
No?
No. Actually, when I was growing up, I was a very, if I have to just casually say it, I would call myself a very hippie kid, who would be just randomly roaming around in gardens and picking flowers and just, like around the nature. And I think that's the kind of person I've always been, even as a kid.
Mhm.
And I couldn't even imagine myself doing this today. I remember when I was in school and I would look at any hoarding or a newspaper ad or like a TVC or like, anything related to it. I used to feel like these people are from a very different planet and I can never be
From
that.
another universe.
Yes. Yeah, to doing all of those things by myself, it's been quite a journey. So yeah, it never was a childhood dream, but sometimes destiny has things planned for you, and all you have to do is just follow your path.
Lovely. We are so happy you are in this career and making all of us so proud. So
Thank
that's
you.
great. But I want to know, do you have like,
Hmm.
when you entered this career, was there
Yeah.
any person who was sort of your role model and you were like, I want to, do great things like this person?
As I got more exposed to this industry, in fact, when I was in Miss India, I then I started looking up at people, who were part of the pageants and who've been able to do great stuff. I think today, if I have to talk about one role model, I think Priyanka Chopra has really outdone herself. She's somebody who's set the
Bar
I
so high.
bar so high that when I think about that woman, I just feel like she's so inspiring and she's been able to do everything that she wanted to do against all odds and not just
Absolutely.
within India. She never cared for any boundaries and she's gone global. And I think that's very inspiring for everyone and
She's an
not just me.
entrepreneur also now. She has a hair
Absolutely.
care
Yeah,
brand
that
Anomaly.
anomaly, yes.
Yeah, yeah. You're an entrepreneur too, right? In
I
a way.
I'm beginning,
Oh,
and
nice.
I began my career, with small investments. But I want to introduce my own organic and sustainable brand.
Oh,
For
lovely.
especially, it's going to be mostly food related.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm very drawn towards organic farming because my dad is an agronomist,
Mm-hmm.
and because of him, like I said, like since I was child, I've always been in middle of a garden or a medicinal garden or jungle or everywhere. So somehow my love for nature and organic, uh, you know, farming has just constantly gone stronger and stronger. So I think now that I have to think of a business option, it'll always be organic farming.
Great, that's nice. So, I want to know like a fun thing. So, when you came to Mumbai
Yeah.
from Lucknow, how did Mumbai treat you? How did the people in the industry treat you? Were they warm or, was the city too harsh on you?
I would say I literally got a red carpet welcome to Bombay
Oh, wow.
because first,
Without the rains, I hope.
oh yes,
Good.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I actually am not a big fan of rains.
Yeah.
So, because when you're a participant of a beauty pageant, then you have to live in a five-star hotel for a month, and that's when the pageant happens. Although it only sounds very fancy and glamorous, but yeah, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. or like early in the morning, get ready. And obviously, when I had gone from Lucknow, I used to not even know how to do my hair and makeup. I had zero idea about it. The only makeup product that I owned was I remember that one brown pencil
Mm-hmm.
and one lip tint, and that was all. So, and then I'm competing against all those girls who were trained to be part of it. So, yeah, that was a little hectic and overwhelming in the beginning. But then, I think best thing is that when pageant people kind of see potential in you and they
Mm.
don't see they see the kind of person they can make out of you and not the person that you are
Mm.
at the moment. So it's the yeah, it's them who really sort of helped me grow and become this person today. But yeah, and then I got to live in a beautiful guest house in Bandra, and we were We would be attending all these fancy events as Miss
Nice.
Indias and everything, wearing all these fancy designer outfits that in the beginning, I wouldn't even know, what is the
So
standing of
you were
this
definitely
designer.
not a struggler back then.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course not. Can't call
Nice.
myself a struggler for sure.
Nice, lovely. So, we actually don't really know what goes on inside like a beauty pageant and
Yeah.
like all those days you have to live in. So, if you could just walk us through, let's say, a day in your life at the time, what would it be?
A day in my life in a beauty pageant.
Yeah, in a beauty
Okay.
pageant.
Yeah, so let me tell you, it does look very glamorous, but you have to wake up at the earliest that you can because you'll always be given like a timeline. Maybe obviously you have to come down for breakfast, but when you're coming for breakfast, you can't just show up like this, or you have to be at your best look. Your hair has to be done, the way you look, the way what you're wearing, everything has to be on point, and there has to be a thought behind it. You
Okay.
can't come unprepared. You really have to know what you want from life and what are your goals and everything else. Because when you're parading, tiptoeing around in your heels, they're also not just looking at how wonderful you're looking, but they're constantly watching the manners that you have, the etiquettes, how you're conducting yourself, amongst the whole environment. What's your behavior like? Your chaperones are constantly keeping an eye on you. So, how you're eating or what you're saying, everything is actually being measured, you
Wow.
know. And when people think, oh, all you have to do is just look pretty and that's how the beauty pageants function, but that's not what it is. Because looking good is the easiest that comes to anyone and everyone. But thinking beyond yourself and thinking for other people and having that kind of vision to like expand your thought processes in this world is what they actually look for. And I think when they say that beauty with substance, that's what actually they go for. And
Okay. And
it's
how long does this last? Like for how many days?
it depends. So it depends on, but usually like a month-long process.
Month long. I can't walk
Yeah.
in my heels for a day.
Yeah. Oh,
Month is a
trust me,
lot.
when I was at Miss Universe, oh, wow, that was quite a journey because obviously it was in Atlanta, so there was a lot of time difference. But I remember waking up super early in the mornings, and back then my mom wasn't keeping well. So I was emotionally very taken aback. I wasn't in my right senses. So I remember I would video call her every morning because it'll be night in India. And I would do my hair. I remember, like, in my bathroom, the phone would be kept and I'm curling my hair, crying on one hand,
Oh man.
and then just fixing myself somehow and then showing up as if nothing happened. And then just putting your best foot forward that you are here to represent your country and you are at your best self. And it does get very challenging to look glamorous and let other people feel that everything is great in your life.
Even when it's not that great.
Yes.
Okay. So, in all of this, did you ever feel like regret of any sort that, oh, I shouldn't have done this? Or like,
No, I don't have any regrets. I feel like all these moments that I have lived through have made me the person I've become today. And when I look back, even back then, of course, you're a human being, so you will feel emotions.
yeah.
It was, I wouldn't cry that, oh my God, I'm in a situation like this. Of course, my love for my mother and what she was going through back then was, of course, very overwhelming because she was fighting cancer. And I was like, I'm at this beauty pageant. I don't know what's going to happen. Have I taken the right call or not? But today, she's absolutely fine. Everything is great. But the whole journey that I lived through transformed me into a very different human being who was ready for bigger challenges and could fight anything that came her way.
She is an inspiration, guys. So, you should learn never to have any regrets no matter what you're doing. So, yeah, we are proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we are going to bust some myths about the modeling career.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, if it's true, then you're going to tell me that, yeah,
Okay.
this happens. Okay.
Sure, I'll try.
So, firstly, do male models get paid more than female models?
No. This is the only industry where female models are literally ruling it
Nice.
because they get paid way higher than male models
Lovely.
and they're always in demand. So, yeah,
Great. Great.
women empowerment.
Yay. Okay, also another myth is that you guys really can't eat much, or there is a certain type of diet that you have to follow all the time. So, is that true?
I just want to tell you that just before getting here, I had a full date and almond pie.
Oh,
That was
wow.
filled with sugar. So
Even I don't need that. Nice.
but you have to know your capacity, to be honest. As long as you're fit and you're working out and you're being able to be in shape, just do whatever you want because you know what works for your body.
Lovely. Also, there's always this perception of being perfect or looking perfect. So, do models face like a bad mental health phase at any point?
I think self assurance is very important when you're in a business where your looks matter so much because there have been times that I'm shooting, and especially when you're shooting for a beauty brand, what happens is that you're being shot, and then there's a big monitor. There are 5 people, one client side, the photographer, the agency, the creative head, and everybody. And what they do is they literally zoom in your face, and literally every single pore of your face is being evaluated or your body is evaluated. So what happens is like it can get very upsetting as well or challenging because you're constantly thinking, what is this person checking out? What's happening?
Yeah.
Am I good enough or not? But you just have to feel secure because if you're here doing the job, people have got you for a reason. So
Absolutely.
just have that faith because you'll never be the best looking person in the room. All you have to do is just have that faith that whatever you are, you're best for yourself. And
Coming from a famous model who also feels she's not the best looking in the room, I mean, come on, guys, you should remove your self doubt ASAP.
because honestly, beauty is very subjective, right? I could be beautiful for 4 people who are sitting here, but some one person will be like, "No, I don't find you good looking," and I don't have to feel bad for it. All I have to do is that I have to know that do I find myself good looking? Am I happy with myself? Am I happy within or not? And I think that's what that matters.
Got it. What have been like some of the challenging moments, or have you ever faced rejection of any sort? And how did you deal with it? Because I know this,
Yeah.
I know this
Yeah.
industry, like, if you're
Yeah.
an actor or whether
Yeah.
you're a model,
Yeah.
there are multiple times you face rejections.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
it's everyday's thing.
So tell me
And
your story.
I think it's everyday's thing. Every single day you get rejected for things. Even when I'm modeling, there are certain jobs that I've not got and I've been wanting to do them. I mean, now, of course, I've been blessed to be able to do every possible job that I actually dreamt of as a model. But yes, journey has to go on, right? You constantly keep thinking bigger and bigger. So there have been things that have not happened for me, and somebody else has done it, and I can't beat myself over it. I have to let go of it. So you have to just let go of the rejections that you will face because it'll actually happen very, very often. Success happens once in a while, but rejections happen every single day.
But I think
And
rejections are what actually teaches you and pushes you to level up, right?
it does
Yeah.
because even when you're on shoot, I've seen when I'm shooting, there are other models. A lot of times, people they send the models back home because they're not getting what they want. And imagine you're in your hair and makeup, you're shooting, and then suddenly somebody tells you that this is not working. Please go home, and they'll get somebody
God,
else on
that's
board. It's
heartbreaking.
brutal. It is brutal, but it is what it is.
I mean, if I'm ready and I'm even going for a dinner, and if you cancel on me, I'll murder you.
Yeah, imagine. I mean, see,
Yeah.
and then it's not about whether you'll pay me for today or not. It's about my self worth because you start questioning because you start questioning the physicality of your body and how you look because you feel like you're not good enough. And so mentally, everybody, whoever is in this business, has to be very, very sound, and they have to be very
Strong headed.
secured within themselves.
Lovely, great answer. So you were here, you are here for a shoot, right, in
Yes, I
Delhi
am. Yeah.
with Ritu Kumar, and I'm pretty sure you've shot with multiple other designers. So if you could, tell us the experience of that.
I remember when I first got a chance to shoot with Sabya and Tarun, everybody.
Who was the first designer you shot with?
The first big designer that I shot with was Ritu Kumar because
Okay.
it was a Miss India
Okay,
collaborative deal.
got
So
it.
I'd shot for him. Then the first, Anita Dongre was my first big designer as a model that I shot for.
Okay, so sorry,
And
you were continuing. I just
yeah,
wanted to know this.
no, yeah. So I remember Anita Dongre. That's a very funny story because I usually, obviously, because you travel so much and people keep looking for exciting locations, unexplored places. For Anita Dongre, we were shooting somewhere in Rajasthan, and there's so too many palaces there. So and those palatial hotels, they're massive, they're big.
Yeah.
And I just began traveling on my own and by myself. I remember going to this room, and there were like too many portraits, and it was a beautiful, big, massive room. There were so many portraits of people, obviously the royal family. And I parked my suitcase and I looked at those portraits and I was like, they're staring at me. I picked up my suitcase, I ran out. I was like, I'm not staying alone.
Oh man,
I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I literally had to spend my night in photographer's assistant's room with her. And it was very challenging. I barely could sleep. And then I woke up at some 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and we started shooting. So,
Man. I
Yeah.
hope now you're comfortable.
I am. I still prefer not to stay in massive rooms because it just does get very scary.
Got it.
It's a weird.
There's a funny story actually. Coming more on to serious things. So, what was like a breakthrough moment in your career where you felt like everybody actually started recognizing your work?
As you know, I began with a pageant.
Yeah.
And then what happened was that for the first year after the pageant, what happens? Nobody knows what happens after the pageant.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
After you
yeah.
come back from Miss Universe, after what happens is that all the beautiful designer outfits that you have, obviously you have to give them back. You don't get to keep them.
Oh, damn.
And which is fair enough, obviously.
Yeah.
They're all rented or sourced.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you stay in the guest house, you've a chauffeur, you've caretakers, but then obviously the new lot of girls are soon going to be taking that place where you are staying at, right? So then they tell you to leave because you have to leave after a year. So then you have to start finding a place for yourself. Then you have to start looking for work for yourself because for the year that you are with them, you are literally not working because
Yeah.
you're only attending events, you're working on yourself. People are constantly keeping an eye on you that how many calories have you consumed, what are you eating, everything is taken care of, right? But after your passion gets over, it's kind of a downer because nobody is really paying attention. You're not getting to attend these fancy events. You're not getting to wear all these designer wears. You're basically on your own.
Yeah.
And that's when the whole reality of Bombay happens. You have to look for a place. You have to find. You have to
Finding a place in Bombay
yeah,
is hard.
it's very hard, and then you
Yeah.
have to do something for living, because you're just a young girl who's just moved to the city. You don't know how to get work, and so it was very challenging because right after my pageant, I remember thinking that, oh my God, I had got my placement with the World Bank. Why did I leave that? Because I don't think this is for me. I literally questioned my career, and I wanted to go back to Lucknow and get back in a job situation so that I can do something for myself. Two, I remember I was spotted at a GQ party, and from there onwards, I did. I did shoot an editorial shoot for GQ, and then I did like a Vogue wedding show cover. And
Nice.
that's when it was a breakthrough moment for me. And then I became this it girl that people wanted to shoot with. So, yeah.
So happy for
Yeah.
you. So, which was the recent cover that you've done?
The recent cover that I shot for, I think it's been a while because after the COVID, a lot of magazines, there's a very Bollywood like trend within our industry, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
If you see all these magazines, all of them have someone or the other from Bollywood because models don't get the covers anymore, you know. And
I mean, though I like that because I work in the magazine space, so I like that the narrative is slightly changing. I
yeah,
mean, we had a really famous model on the Vogue Italia cover recently. She's from India.
yeah. But
I'm zoning
outside, it's
out.
not the same, right? There's
Yeah,
no
that's
face
also
value
true.
driven like situation there. It's only in India where Bollywood has taken over the whole glamour business. So it's not about models. Like today, like we were talking about it earlier, that when I go out, people be like, I've seen you somewhere. You do something
Hmm.
related to fashion. Yeah, of course I do. I'm a model. But they know that they've seen me, but they don't know my name. And I'm sure
Yeah.
back in the day, there was a supermodel era where people would know who Milind Soman is. You know, all these Madhu Sapre, all these models were like very popular.
Hmm.
And they would be endorsing brands. But now the endorsements don't happen to models. You can only shoot for the
It's
brand.
mostly Bollywood.
It's actually Bollywood.
You know, in our last episode, we had a stylist, Bharat. I don't
Yeah,
know if you know him.
yeah, of course. And he's styled a
Yeah.
lot of Miss Indias and me.
Oh, nice, nice. So we
So,
had him as the
yeah,
guest,
yeah,
and he spoke the exact same thing. He's like, I
yeah,
love my models, but Bollywood has totally captured the scene.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
see, I've been modeling for a while. I've been able to do every possible brand that, as a model, that you aspire to do. But, um, but do I have a face value? Yes, people may feel that I'm a familiar person within the industry. Yes, I do have a lot of
Yeah.
respect, and people appreciate and everything. But the whole massy sort of value,
Got it.
it does not come from just being a model.
No, that's a sad reality, which I
So
think should change
I
real
wonder
soon.
how, because we're all very obsessed over Bollywood. When even if you've done like a random possible film, you'll go to these
Yeah.
smaller towns and they'll be like, "Oh, I've done a film." It's very exciting for them. It wouldn't be exciting even if I came and told them like, "Listen, I shot for Shampoo, or I shot for Chanel, I shot for any brand like that." They'd be like, "Haan, theek hai, it's fine," you know. It
Man.
wouldn't be as exciting for them than you doing a film. So yeah, that's also part of it.
I think
But I think
cricket in Bollywood in
is
India is really
it has, and
taking over
I don't have
everything.
any complaints. I feel like it's absolutely fine. But sometimes, what upsets me is that when they don't, you, if you've been given the job, please do it properly.
Yeah,
Because I
absolutely.
see Bollywood people closing the show
Hmm.
or shooting for it. They're not being able to express the kind of things that they should be expressing, or they're not being able to walk properly. And that's sad.
It's
I mean,
great to have your perspective on this because we were really discussing this
yeah,
extensively
yeah,
in the last episode.
yeah.
And I totally, I wish that someday this really goes away.
Yeah, no, I feel like that I don't have a problem as long as you're doing your job properly.
Yeah, that's also
If
true.
if you are killing the ramp, I would be clapping. I would be standing and clapping for you.
Hmm.
But if you're not, then it's very sad because it only makes people feel that you're just there because you're one Bollywood person.
Got
So
it. Okay, fine.
that was so
It's fine. Let's.
so strong.
No,
Maybe
it's
we'll
good
edit
to
that out.
have your opinions, and
Yeah.
it's obviously lovely to be recognized for your work. So I hope,
No, absolutely.
yeah,
And so now we've reached a phase where I feel like because of the Instagram reels, because of the videos, we're constantly also creating a lot of video content as a model. And
hmm,
what sells the most is the story based videos. So everybody is asking models also to express or to say something. And I think for me, I've always been shooting not just as a model that, oh, I have to stand there and look good. Like, I always feel like that, when you're shooting, what sets you apart is that you have to tell something when you're shooting
Love it.
for people. Your
You know,
picture should
this,
not look
yeah,
blank.
this makes me think that it is often, I mean, I don't know how true is this, but
Hmm.
I've heard this so often that models are really not smart and this, that. But you sound smart to me, like you want to express, So
I
do you
think it
think
just
that's
comes
true?
with the whole. I don't know, because they feel like that good-looking people are not smart
Yeah,
enough,
yeah, that's
and
the thing, yeah.
that's very sad, because if you weren't smart, you wouldn't exist here. This is a
True.
very cutthroat industry, and if you're not at it, you will not exist. So yes, you have to be very good at what you do, and it'll not come. It'll not be unique if you don't have substance,
Hmm.
and if you're not offering something unique to the table. Why do you think, like, I mean, somebody is booking you every season? Because you're offering something to them. Otherwise, it's also something that, first thing that changes from a campaign is like, somebody will be like, oh, let's do something different, let's change the model, because nobody
Ah.
wants to use their minds. They would be like, okay, you want to do something different, let's change everything. And the first thing that changes is the face of the brand. So
Hmm.
when you are scoring a brand of over and over, which means you're doing something right to them.
Yeah.
So, and you're understanding their language. When you're shooting, you have to get the brief right. You have to understand what the brand is about. Is the brand about, uh, is the brand saying that you have to be very fierce, very strong, or you have to be very um, Aphrodite vibe, or it could be anything, but you have to get the right brief and be able to deliver what the client is asking of you.
Got it. Nice. I'll
So,
I'll think about this more.
no, actually, my sister
Yeah.
is like, you're so lucky. All you have to do is just put makeup on and get pictures
I'm
clicked.
sure that's not the
And I'm
case.
like, listen, if you have to wake up like literally 4 a.m. in the morning, even when you're not awake, people are literally brushing your face. You
My
will not
God.
be so happy,
That's tough
but
for anyone. I
it
mean,
is.
waking up at 4 is like really hard.
And it's not just once a day.
Yeah.
I mean, now you know how hot Delhi is.
Yeah.
And shooting in this weather with in heavy lehengas outdoors and
It's a
still
task.
making it look very pleasant that you're enjoying the outfit in 45 degrees. So, yes, there's some amount of work that has to go into it,
A lot of work,
right?
not some
So,
amount.
yeah.
Got it. So, coming to the social aspect of things, I
Yeah.
know that you do a little bit of social work and everything.
Yeah.
So, how do you think fashion plays a role in, promoting these social causes and initiatives?
To me, fashion is a very powerful medium to it has its own language. When it comes to social causes, it has influenced social causes on a global level. Talk about environment related issues, talk about diversity, inclusiveness, or celebrating all shapes and sizes. Fashion has done it all, because today, if you see, every brand offers multiple sizes, has models who are in all colors, all shapes,
Yeah.
all kind, like whatever possible looks you can get. So I feel like fashion is the first thing or first platform where people are very accepting and
Hmm.
they celebrate everyone's individuality, and it's all about that. So I think fashion has immense amount of impact on social causes, and um, some designers who collaborate with a lot of brands
Hmm.
and to influence certain sort of changes when it comes to environment, when it comes to or diversity, color, everything.
Yeah, I want more and
Or
more
it's
people.
very gender
Yeah.
fluid,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think fashion is very liberating.
True. I actually want more and more people to know this because often people think that fashion is this, unachievable thing.
It's not, and
It's
especially
not.
today, if
Yeah.
you see, fashion has changed so much. It
Yeah.
has changed to a point where if you are a model, you don't have to look like this. You
Yeah.
can look like you and still be a model. And I think that's the best phase where you've stepped into, where we're celebrating who you are, where we're celebrating your individuality, what you're offering, and your uniqueness. And that is what fashion is about, being you.
Yeah, so you were telling me that a lot of people DM you and ask you how to be a model. So,
Yeah,
how to be a model?
just be yourself, I would say. I think these days we have a lot of these days we've too many platforms to put ourselves out there. When I started out, obviously we had Instagram with everything, and I took away that was through pageants, and I think pageant kind of gave me what I have today. But putting yourself out there on Instagram and people discover people. A lot of talent agencies that I talk to, they like profiles on Instagram, and I think today, because we have access to social media, we have access to immense amount of information on Google. You can just Google what are the best agencies, and honestly, you don't need professional photos, portfolios, or anything. Those days are gone.
Oh,
Nobody
nice.
will ever check for how many good looking photos you have. In fact, I remember when I wanted to become a model and I was nobody. I literally sent two, three pictures to a leading modeling agency in India. It's called Anima. And
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I sent one picture. What they asked me wanted to wear something black. I was in Lucknow as a kid back then. I and they said like, why don't you just wear something black, take pictures in from your phone in front of a plain background, and I'm literally standing in a very straight, weird position. But I think they still liked me because they look at your facial features. If you especially today, if we're celebrating uniqueness, we're celebrating individuality, people celebrate all kinds, all shapes and
So, they're a
sizes.
good judge of
Yes,
character and they understand. Yeah, you're fit.
absolutely. Yeah, you
Okay.
just send your pictures and don't hesitate from reaching out to anybody because you never know, they might just be looking for you.
Okay.
So,
And I just recently
mhm.
learned that sometimes these agencies are fraudulent and then, like they take money from you and stuff like that. So, how to deal with that, or like, how to know ki differentiate ki this is like a true
Yeah,
agency or this is like a fake one.
I believe it's a very fast moving world that we are in, and especially this industry, because there's something new happening every single day. There's too many jobs, too many people, everybody around us. They want to be part of it, they want to be,
Yeah.
within this circle. So, obviously, a lot of times we don't know whether this person is right or wrong. But in those situations, just get a validation from somebody if possible.
Hmm.
And with a lot of information everywhere. So if you check their social media, ask for basic details,
Hmm.
that what is the shoot about, what is the venue, who is the photographer, who is the video person, who are the people who are producing it. These are basic information that any and everyone should have before saying yes or no to a shoot. Like, what is the shoot for? What is the brand? What are the uses? Where will you put it? Because you don't know, they might just edit your photo and put your
Yeah.
face, you know, on something else, and you don't want that happening.
Yeah.
So this is your basic right to get basic information from them, and if somebody is being able to provide all of it, then obviously you know that there's like a legit job
Hmm.
that's there, because obviously after they give you those details, you still have homework to do. You please check
Yeah.
it out whether those details are valid or not. So
Great.
I think you can sort of avoid these things from happening by doing basic info check.
Research.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So, I just want to know, my
Yeah.
last question to you is what are like your upcoming projects? How do you wish to expand? What next are you looking forward to?
So after working in this industry for 7 years, almost eight, I think I've started investing a little bit in homegrown brands,
Hmm.
because I feel like that's one way of doing being an entrepreneur. And so I did a little bit of investment in food hall. Like I said, that I'm
Oh,
very close
nice.
to organic farming, so I do want to have a brand. So I'm working on it. It's on a very ground level, so
It's
that's why I don't
okay.
want to talk
Yeah.
so much about it. But I do want to say that soon you will hear something from me, and then maybe we'll talk about that too.
Lovely.
So
Lovely. Can't wait.
yeah, and at the same time, I think I'm because I when I said like as a model you're also working on a video format. You're doing a lot of acting, and while I was doing that for these brands, I realized why not give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I let's see if you see me somewhere.
Can't wait to see you on the big screen, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay, lovely. So now we'll just play a
yeah,
small game. You
yeah,
have to be quick about it. I'll ask
yeah.
you 5 to 6 questions just to get to know you more. Okay,
Okay,
let's get
perfect.
started. Okay, fine. So, would you rather have a bad haircut or a bad color?
Wow, none of them.
If you have to
But
choose
if I
one.
have to choose bad haircut or bad color, bad color will still do because imagine somebody cut my hair so short.
Yeah.
I did that once. When
Oh,
I was a
man.
kid, I remember my best friend used to have short hair, and my hair was still this long that I have today. I went to my mom and asked, I told her, could you please take me to cut my hair? And my mom was like, no, obviously not. And I said, no, no, my friend has like short hair. She's like, no, but you have curly hair, so don't cut your hair short because
Yeah.
it won't look nice on you. And I said, no, 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 I have to cut my hair. My mom did not listen to me, so I found a scissor. I was in class, second, I guess, and I
Oh,
cut my own
damn.
hair. Like, I chopped it off completely, and it was very horrible. It was very
Man.
bad, and I remember everybody would tease me, and I used to tie a scarf here so that people can't see the zigzag that I
How
created.
cute. Okay.
It was really bad after because like as a kid people start teasing you and you
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how to
yeah,
take it
yeah,
in a
yeah.
healthy way, so you're
Kids
constantly
can get
crying.
toxic sometimes
Yeah.
when it comes to teasing and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, if today is your cheat day, would you eat sweet or savory? I think we already know what you eat.
Well, but that has jaggery, guys. I mean, disclose
Okay,
that because,
fine. So
like I
sweet.
said, that yeah, sweet. I'm not a big fan of sweet, but then there are times that if I'm skipping my lunch, like for example, what I did today, but I don't want to be empty stomach because it causes a lot of acidity,
Yeah,
and you don't
yeah.
want that happening because it'll damage a lot of things. So you would rather consume a little bit of sugar than causing acidity in your body. So
Great. Are you a CrossFit or a yoga person?
yoga person.
Okay. Winning the lottery or finding your soulmate?
Finding my soulmate would be winning the lottery, I guess.
Ah, nice answer. Okay. Matcha latte or regular latte?
None. I've left
No?
milk.
No, even if it's with like oat milk or almond milk.
Yeah, actually, I do not enjoy milk texture. So
Okay.
I'm vegan, but not because I wanted to become a vegan. I
Yeah.
somehow did not enjoy a lot of milk texture, creams, or in fact tofu as well.
Got
So
it.
yeah, I
So
do
you're
not.
none. No matcha
Yeah,
latte, no regular latte.
no.
Okay. Lastly, what was the weirdest gift you have ever received?
Yeah, you do get like weird stuff, but I don't remember about mine. But my best friend's boyfriend once gave her his cap to her on her birthday.
His
And
cap.
his cap.
Oh,
And I was
why?
like, that's very weird and off. I don't know what do you mean by that. Like,
Some sort of a love language, maybe.
I
Who
don't know.
knows?
It's beyond my understanding. So I
Okay.
couldn't understand. So I think it hasn't happened to me, and I'm glad it hasn't happened to me. And do not try to give me weird gifts. I don't like it.
Great. Fine. So that was the
So
end of our podcast. How was your experience talking to me?
it was so much fun talking to you. I feel like you asked me questions that a lot of people want to know,
Yeah.
but they don't know the real information from first-hand people. So I mean,
That's the aim. Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
when you said when you talked about like how a lot of scams also happen, they happen because people are unaware how things
Correct.
function.
Yeah.
So when you get a shoot, that's not how you get a shoot. So find right people.
Great, great. So, okay, we enjoyed talking. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us. Please put your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. Listen to our podcast. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you want to say to us, you can either DM me or us or the India Today page, or you can text us on 8588966996 or email us on pods@indiatoday.com. Thank you so much. Bye.